Chapter 35-48. Just as Tang Guo was still trying to figure out what Tang Xiang wanted to do, she suddenly felt a sense of danger. Her mind instantly became alert and she spread her divine sense all around. Her hands were not moving, but she kept paying attention to the situation around her, especially on Tang Xiang. What made her feel strange was that the danger she felt did not come from Tang Xiang. She even felt that the ground was trembling slightly. It was just that the range of her divine sense was too small and she could not see too far, so she did not know what was happening that caused the ground to tremble. But the unknown danger was coming, and without absolute certainty, it was better to leave. Did you see anything? Not good, host. There is a large group of demonic beasts rushing over here. The system quickly said. The demonic beasts just now were very far away, so I did not check in that direction. The demonic beasts are very fast, like mad bulls. They should be very strong because some of the demonic beasts in their path were trampled to death by them. So, these demonic beasts had lost their minds and were no different from lunatics. They should be very strong. Got it? Tang Guo pulled Zhou Ru's sleeve and whispered, Senior brother Zhou, shout out that there is danger and tell everyone to retreat quickly. Junior sister Tang, what's going on? There is a large group of demonic beasts coming over. They are stronger than the golden core stage and might be at the nascent soul stage. I don't know how many there are at the moment. Once they rush over, so many people will not be able to react. Zhou Ru looked at Tang Guo with a slightly complicated gaze. Junior sister Tang, they treated you so badly, why do you still want me to tell them this? That is that. Besides, whether or not they can escape later will depend on their own abilities. Besides, there were people here who had no enmity with her. There was no need to use the others as cannon fodder just to kill a few enemies. She did not like the word cannon fodder at all. Okay, junior sister Tang, you are really a good person. Tang Guo could not help but laugh in her heart. Actually, she was not a good person. It was just that if people did not offend her, she would not offend them. If it was at the beginning, when she was in her darkest state, she would not have made this choice. Instead, she would have watched these people die in the mouths of the demonic beast. Later on, she pondered deeply. They were all cannon fodder, so why should she make things difficult for them? It was not easy to live in this world. Everyone retreat, there is danger. Zhou Ru shouted at the top of his voice, which indeed made everyone stunned for a moment. Danger is about to arrive. Hurry up and retreat. There is a large group of original infant stage demonic beasts rushing over like madmen. I don't know how many of them there are. Zhou Ru's voice was much louder this time, and he even used his spiritual energy. After he finished shouting, he took advantage of the fact that everyone was still in a daze to call out to Tang Guo. Junior martial sister Tang, let's quickly retreat. All right. Tang Guo gently nodded and quickly retreated outside with Zhou Ru without hesitation. Seeing the two's actions, many people followed them and ran outside. There was also a portion of them who were hesitating. However, Zhou Ru was running as he spoke. Many people believed that he was in danger. No matter what, let's run first. If you guys don't believe me, I'll swear an oath to you. If no demonic beast comes out later, I, Zhou Ru, will never be able to improve my cultivation. This was the first thing that junior martial sister Tang had asked him to do, so he had to do it beautifully. Since Zhou Ru had already sworn an oath, everyone did not care about anything else and ran outside. Tang Xiang looked at the scene of everyone from the absolute beginning sect retreating outside and was a little dumbfounded. In particular, Tang Guo and Zhou Ru ran the fastest. Chapter 35-49. Xiang let's retreat first. I also feel a sense of danger coming from my heart. Ji Qi could already feel the ground trembling slightly. He didn't pay much attention to it before because he thought it was due to the battle with the demon beasts. All disciples of the Alpha Origin sect, retreat. Yueheng and Feng Gulin's voices rang in the ears of the Alpha Origin sect disciples. This time, the disciples of the Alpha Origin sect did not hesitate and quickly ran outside. Tang Xiang was pulled by Ji Qi and the two of them quickly ran outside. All of this was different from what Tang Xiang had imagined. She looked in the direction of Tang Guo. Who was Zhou Ru? He was clearly just a golden core cultivator. How did he know that nascent soul demon beasts would charge over? Could it be that this big idiot had some special talent? Tang Xiang clenched her fists tightly. This time her plan had failed at the last step. She was very frustrated and could not even maintain her previous calm expression. Xiang, what are you thinking about? Ji Qi had already realized that Tang Xiang had been very strange recently. He had always felt that Tang Xiang seemed to be a little impatient. Previously, he had thought that Tang Xiang was impatient because her cultivation was slow. Now he felt that it was not the case. However, it seemed that he could not get anything out of Tang Xiang. I'm just worried. Eldest senior brother, will so many nascent soul demon beasts really appear? Boom, 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 boom. Just as Tang Xiang finished speaking, Ji Qi's expression changed slightly. Hurry up and get out. It's true. He had already felt the aura that belonged to a nascent soul cultivator. If Zhou Ru had not warned him in time, who knew how many disciples of the Alpha Origin sect would have died at the demon beast's mouths? Even with Yueheng and Feng Gulin, the disciples of the Alpha Origin sect were scattered. Only the two of them could not take care of all the disciples. Why are there so many demon beasts? Tang Xiang asked again. However, this time Ji Qi did not answer her. He shouted loudly for everyone to quickly retreat. Seeing this, Tang Xiang did not say anything else. She understood Ji Qi's personality. Right now, his entire heart was focused on the consequences of the demon beasts. How could he answer her small questions? Her original plan today was to catch those demonic beasts off guard and put her and Tanghua in danger. Yueheng's gaze had always been on her. When he saw that they were in danger, Yueheng would definitely choose to save her first. However, as a sister who cared about Tanghua, she would definitely choose to save Tanghua first. At that time, both of them would be injured. However, with Yueheng's protection, she definitely wouldn't be seriously injured. However, she would act like she was trying her best to protect Tanghua. When she returned, she would tell Ji Qi some things about her nightmare. Yes, her main goal this time was to let Ji Qi hear some of her inner secrets. In her nightmares, she would mention to Ji Qi that Tanghua would eventually fall into the Devil Dao, kill her family, and even attack the Absolute Beginning sect. At that time, with Ji Qi's personality, he would definitely find a chance to get rid of Tanghua. Ji Qi was very different from Yueheng. Yueheng was very powerful and believed that Tanghua's foundation had been destroyed. Even if she fell into the Devil Dao, it would be very difficult for her to achieve great things. He thought that with him watching over her, nothing would happen. However, Ji Qi was a careful person. If there was even the slightest mistake or danger, he would strangle everything in the cradle. She had a good plan, but she did not expect it to be ruined by that big idiot Zhou Ru. She did not know what kind of special talent that big idiot had. Chapter 3550. The Absolute Beginning sect disciples had just retreated from their original location when countless nascent soul demonic beasts rushed out from the forest. Wherever they passed, no matter if it was grass, trees, or other weaker demonic beasts, none of them were spared. They were all trampled to death by these nascent soul demonic beasts. Those demonic beasts were like lunatics, destroying everything in their sight. Don't think that you're safe just because you've retreated. Those demonic beasts seemed to have smelled the scent of humans and madly rushed in the direction of the Absolute Beginning sect. If it weren't for Feng Gulin and Yueheng covering the rear, the demonic beasts would have already rushed forward and fought with the Absolute Beginning sect disciples. Most of these disciples were at the Golden Core Foundation Establishment and Nascent Soul stage. A single claw from a demonic beast could take their lives. Liang Wan also ran very quickly. Golden Core stage cultivators were faster after all, so she quickly escaped from the most dangerous place. However, in the previous tense situation she was still scratched on the back by a demonic beast. Now her entire back was a bloody mess. Wu Mingxin was only at the Foundation Establishment stage. Perhaps he was unlucky. A nascent soul stage demonic beast rushed out from the forest beside him and sent him flying with a single claw. He spat out a mouthful of blood and was half dead. If he hadn't vigilantly used his spirit energy to protect himself, he would have been killed on the spot. Even though these demonic beasts had the strength of a nascent soul stage, their fighting style was different from humans. That was why he didn't die on the spot. However, in this situation his position was very awkward. Everyone was running for their lives so they might not even notice him here. Wu Mingxin didn't move at all. That nascent soul stage demonic beast seemed to have sensed that he wasn't dead and madly rushed in his direction. Wu Mingxin closed his eyes in despair. As expected, no matter how careful he was, without absolute strength, he still couldn't save his life when he encountered danger. If he wanted to blame someone, he could only blame himself for overestimating himself and forcing himself to come over to hunt demonic beasts in order to obtain more resources. Suddenly, he felt a breeze in front of him and his entire body rose into the air. He hurriedly opened his eyes. He felt that his position was moving quickly, as if someone had grabbed him by the collar. "Dear host, you picked him up in passing. That's really cool." The system praised. "I've observed this Wu Mingxin before. If he's nurtured well, he'll be a very useful bull. He's very smart and knows his position very well. Moreover, he won't be fooled by appearances. It was just that his talent was slightly lacking. But that doesn't matter. Just find some treasures for him to eat and he'll be very capable." When they reached a slightly safer place, Tangwa put down the semi-conscious Wu Mingxin. All the cultivators in Long Cave City knew about the appearance of a large group of nascent soul demonic beasts. They quickly rushed over to stop the demonic beasts from heading towards Long Cave City. However, while someone from the Absolute Beginning sect had warned them, those from the other sects weren't warned in time. As a result, quite a few disciples from the other sects were killed or injured. Many of the elders of the various sects were enraged and started to organize groups to kill these nascent soul stage demonic beasts. Yu Heng and Feng Gulin went to control the rampaging nascent soul demonic beasts. The weak disciples weren't there, so they didn't have to be so cautious when they attacked. With the help of the other sects' experts, it took them almost an entire day to kill all the nascent soul stage demonic beasts. Among them, the nascent soul stage disciples also went to participate. Tangwa didn't go. With her current strength, she wasn't strong enough to deal with a nascent soul stage demonic beast. Chapter 3551. Thank you, Senior Sister Tang, for saving my life. After Wu Mingxin recovered a little from his injuries, he hurriedly bowed to Tangwa. If it weren't for Tangwa's casual grab, he might have died under the claws of those monster beasts just like the other sect disciples. In that kind of situation, he really didn't expect that someone would actually help him. Wu Mingxin's eyes reddened. He was touched. That was because ever since he stepped onto this path, other than his parents who would treat him this way, everyone else would choose to protect themselves in this kind of crisis. They would not take the risk of bringing along such a half-dead burden. I, Wu Mingxin, am unable to repay you for saving my life. If Senior Sister Tang needs any help in the future, I will not refuse. Wu Mingxin saw that Tangwa's expression did not change. She was still as cold as before. He said, I, Wu Mingxin, swear on my heart demon. Tangwa glanced at Wu Mingxin. It's just a matter of convenience. Yes, it was convenient for the original owner to save Wu Mingxin. It was also convenient for her to carry Wu Mingxin. What did it mean when it was convenient? It was based on the fact that one was confident that there wouldn't be any danger. If it was convenient, then it was convenient. Wu Mingxin did not say much and only smiled. He knew that Senior Sister Tang was not good at expressing herself, but he would always remember this kindness. Senior Sister Tang was not a bad person, but she was not good at expressing herself. That was why people took advantage of her and could not restore her reputation. It seemed that she was becoming less and less concerned about these things. System, dear host, this Wu Mingxin seems to be your cow. Yu Heng and Feng Gulin had returned. Their expressions were not good. The eyes of the cultivators from the other sects were red. Their bodies were covered in demonic beast blood. It was terrifying to look at. The air seemed to be filled with a red mist of blood. The thick smell of blood was nauseating. Tangwa's gaze swept across Tang Xiang. Tang Xiang was standing beside Ji Qi. There was only worry on her face and no other emotions. Tang Xiang must have something to do with this. But she did not know what method Tang Xiang used. Tang Xiang should have grasped something powerful in her hands. Seeing that Tang Xiang was concerned about Yu Heng, Tangwa retracted her gaze. That was close. If it wasn't for a disciple's timely reminder, over half of our Alpha Origin sect's disciples would have died. Feng Gulin's face was filled with joy. Look at the disciples of the other sections. Many of their good seedlings have been lost. Yu Heng also sighed. Yeah, it's all thanks to that disciple from before. Alright, what's that disciple's name? His name is Zhou Ru. Feng Gulin had already found Zhou Ru's position and was about to praise Zhou Ru. Zhou Ru said, Elder Feng, it was Junior Sister Tang who warned me that there would be danger and told me to inform everyone. Suddenly, everyone's eyes fell on Tangwa. Many people had a look of disbelief on their faces. It's her? How could it be her? You don't believe me? I swear that it was Junior Apprentice Sister Tang who discovered the danger and let us evacuate in time. Zhou Ru was so honest that he directly swore. It was too late for anyone to stop him. If it wasn't true, who would dare to take such a risk and swear? Hence, everyone believed him with complicated feelings. Ji Qi looked at Tangwa's position a few times. He felt that this was a dream. Yu Heng was also a little surprised. His first thought was that the mixed yuan flame flower could not be exposed for the time being. Otherwise, with Tangwa's contribution to the sect this time, the sect's elders would have suggested that this former genius consume it. Chapter 3552. Tang Xiang clenched her fists. Sister, how did you know there would be nascent soul demonic beasts? I accidentally awakened a type of talent. Tangwa's answer was so casual that everyone was skeptical. I can sense it in advance. Others might still have doubts in their hearts, but Tang Xiang firmly believed in this answer. What? It must be the other party's luck that was causing trouble. Because of her talent, Tangwa could sense an unknown danger and reminded the Alpha Origin sect disciples to retreat in time. Although many of the Alpha Origin sect disciples were injured, the death count was 0. Feng Gulin had already reported this matter back to the sect. Regardless of whether Tangwa's foundation was destroyed or not, she would be given a great merit for making such a contribution. When she returned to the sect, she would be given generous rewards and preferential treatment. If you have any doubts about your cultivation, you can look for me anytime. This was Feng Gulin's attitude. He always felt that this talented disciple was held back by that stubborn Yu Heng. According to his recent observations, Yu Heng probably did not give this disciple any defensive items. Otherwise, how could this disciple's foundation be damaged? Would it be so easy for a disciple who had a master to protect her foundation? The more Feng Gulin thought, the more upset he felt. He did not care whether it would be a slap to Yu Heng's face. He immediately took out a defensive Dharma treasure from his space ring and gave it to Tangwa. This scene made Yu Heng's expression uneasy. He did not give Tangwa any Dharma treasure and almost did not fulfill his duty as a master. There is a change in the beast tide. If we do not defeat it, we will not be able to return to the sect for the time being. The sect will send a few thousand disciples as reinforcements. Take this and use it to defend yourself. Thank you, Elder Feng. Feng Gulin nodded with gratification. She was able to deal with golden core demonic beasts when she was only at the perfected foundation establishment stage. It would be the Alpha Origin sect's fault if they did not properly nurture such a disciple. As expected, rumors were too annoying. Go and rest for half a day. Tomorrow, the disciples who are not injured will continue to kill the demonic beasts. Late at night, Tang Xiang had a nightmare. Tang Xiang purposely took the opportunity when Yu Heng and Feng Gulin went to check on the situation. She used the method of a nightmare to tell them that Tangwa was going to turn into a devil in the future, and that she would cause a bloody storm in the cultivation world. She even added, "Sister, why did you do that? Are those demonic beasts really unrelated to you?" Ji Qi, who was originally observing Tangwa, heard about her nightmare. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that something was amiss. He did not stop Tang Xiang's nightmare. Instead, he allowed her to continue. From it, he learned that Tangwa was about to become a demon. She would kill her parents and many people from the Absolute Beginning sect. And this time, the demonic beast might be related to her. That's right, how could there be such a coincidence? But why did she remind everyone to evacuate? This was something that Ji Qi did not understand. But Tang Xiang quickly explained, "Sister, if you continue, Xiang, can only let you down. Do you want to use this method to obtain the sect's resources and training?" That's right. Ji Qi seemed to understand something. Tangwa wanted to perform meritorious deeds. She planned to use this method to obtain the sect's resources and training. After all, to become a demon and obtain great strength, she would need a lot of resources. It was clear from Feng Gulin's attitude earlier. In the morning, Tangwa clearly felt a faint murderous intent. It came from Ji Qi's side. Tang Xiang's condition was not good. Ji Qi suggested that she rest first and deal with the demonic beasts after a few days. Chapter 3553. This time it was a team of 3, which was what Ji Qi wanted. He decided to team up with Tangwa and Zhou Ru. Previously it was all thanks to Junior Sister. I don't know if there will be any danger in the future. I plan to team up with Junior Sister so that we can take care of each other. Feng Gulin and Yu Heng both agreed. The others felt that it was only right and did not think much of it. After all, Tangwa did save them previously. It was normal for Ji Qi to change his mind. Tang Xiang saw that things were developing as she expected. She was relieved. Now she just had to wait for Ji Qi to find an opportunity to kill Tangwa. Junior Sister Tang, I feel that something is wrong. Ji Qi led the two deeper into the mountain. Along the way he was cold and did not talk much with Tangwa. Most of the time he did take care of Tangwa. Zhou Ru felt a faint sense of danger, but he did not expect it to come from Ji Qi. Maybe there are strong demonic beasts spying on us. Tangwa dispelled Zhou Ru's worries. Senior brother Zhou, be serious when dealing with the demonic beasts. Otherwise it will be dangerous. Ji Qi wanted to kill her. He should be thinking of how to kill her. Of course she would not sit still. Since things had already happened, she should let Ji Qi know the truth. However, she could not let Ji Qi eat a pipe dream. As a cultivator he was very sensitive to hallucinogenic pills. If he knew that she was the one who gave it to him, he would not only not believe it but would also think that he was right. He must get rid of her. This was also the reason why she could not use a pipe dream. Moreover, a cultivator's divine sense was strong. He might not be affected and might even think that it was an illusion. Although he was confused, he would not really believe it. Originally, she wanted to wait until that incident happened. However, she could not wait anymore. She had to solve it quickly. She wanted Ji-Chi to live a life worse than death. His cultivation would stagnate and he would live in pain forever. That was close. I don't know where so many strong demonic beasts came from. Luckily, we are close to the sun-traversing snow mountain. Tanghua and the other two were already sitting at the foot of the snow mountain. They looked a little pathetic. As for how they got here, it was Ji-Chi's intentional guidance. Together with Tanghua's intentional cooperation, they were chased by many demonic beasts. This time, it was Ji-Chi who had alarmed the powerful demonic beasts. When they walked into the sun-traversing snow mountain, those demonic beasts didn't dare to approach them for some reason. However, they would not doubt this. Since ancient times, the demonic beasts of the outside world seemed to be afraid of the sun-traversing snow mountain. No matter how great the temptation was, they would not approach it. The reason why Ji-Chi chose to make his move on the snow mountain was because he believed that the collapse of part of the snow mountain would conceal a lot of the truth. In addition, there were many demonic beasts guarding the area. For the time being, they couldn't leave and the people outside couldn't enter either. Ji-Chi did not make a move because there was still Zhou-Ru. His strength was not bad. When the time came, as long as he unleashed his hidden strength, he would definitely be able to kill Tanghua. However, Zhou-Ru was a variable. It was said that he was a cultivator who was not afraid of being beaten. This kind of talent was somewhat of a hindrance to him. Since we can't leave for now, let's enter the snow mountain and take a look, Ji-Chi suggested. Maybe we can find another way. After entering the snow mountain, he would use some small tricks to separate Zhou-Ru and Tanghua so that it would be much easier for him to take action. Tanghua did not object. Zhou-Ru, on the other hand, was a little hesitant. In the end, seeing that Tanghua wanted to go, he agreed. Before the three of them entered, Zhou-Ru gave Tanghua a bracelet. This is a protective bracelet. Junior sister Tang, wear it. If there is any danger, this bracelet will protect you. Chapter 3554. Zhou-Ru, this big idiot, put the bracelet on Tanghua's wrist without her permission for the first time. What was even more surprising was that even though the bracelet had not been refined, the moment she put it on, she felt that it was already hers. The three of them walked into the snowy mountain. Tanghua felt that Zhou-Ru was a little strange. Senior Zhou, what's wrong? Zhou-Ru scratched his head and said in a daze, I don't know either, I keep feeling that something is about to happen. Ji-Chi narrowed his eyes slightly, still feeling that Zhou-Ru was a hindrance. Ji-Chi wanted to kill Tanghua, but he did not know that Tanghua also wanted to find a chance to teach him a lesson. Her strength was not as good as Ji-Chi's, but she had many tricks up her sleeve and treasures. Taking away half of Ji-Chi's life was not a problem. As for killing Ji-Chi, she did not even think about it. Death would be the end of all troubles. How could it be so simple? Xiaomei, did you feel that someone came in? Haha, I saw it, it's actually that girl from last time. The person beside her looks very familiar, she was there last time too. Why is there another one? This person is a little strange. Xiaomei, do you know him? Old man Shui, if you call me Xiaomei again, I'll destroy your snowy mountain. No matter how big it is, I'll destroy 10 of them every day, you won't be able to rest in peace. Do you believe me? I do. Then Brother Mei, that girl came again, I think she's quite pleasing to the eye, I'm going to give her some treasures, do you want to do the same? No way, humans are all greedy, if you give her something today she'll ask for more tomorrow, and when that time comes she'll empty your snowy mountain. What are you talking about? The treasures that grow in snowy mountains, aren't they all obtained by one's own ability? If I like it, I'll give it to her, but if I don't like it one day, then I won't give it to her. Old man Shui hesitated for a moment, then said, to tell you the truth, I feel that fate and her are somewhat tied together. I keep feeling that she can't die. If she dies, it won't be good for me. This feeling is even more obvious this time. I even have a feeling that if she dies, my life will be in great danger, creating a dead end. Her cultivation is still low, I have to give her something good to raise her strength and protect myself. Really? Really, when have I ever lied to you? We've been neighbors for so many years, haven't we? Alright, before your crisis is resolved, I won't do anything to her. Of course, if she's greedy by nature, I'll teach her a lesson and won't let her off easily. Elder Shui sensed that something was wrong with Mei Hanbai's expression and followed his line of sight to where Tanghua was. He saw that the honest-looking man was looking around cautiously, carefully protecting Tanghua. Old man Shui pondered for a moment. Brother Mei, your expression is a little off. I've always felt that you've always been hostile towards that girl. Now that you've seen another man taking care of her, your expression is extremely gloomy. I say, did you take a liking to her and think that she's a human that you hate, so you flew into a rage out of humiliation and wanted to kill her? Now that you see another man appear by her side and treat her well, you can't accept it in your heart. Why are you so awkward? Will there be an avalanche if you don't speak? Whether or not there will be an avalanche is something that I don't want to see. I'm just curious, Brother May, you seem to treat her differently. But to be honest, I think that this human girl isn't bad. If you were to mate with her, then I wouldn't have to worry about her little life if she were to meet with any danger, and I wouldn't be implicated. Chapter 35:55. Elder Shui saw that Mei Hanbai's expression was becoming more and more gloomy, so he shut his mouth. Forget it, this old man was just guessing blindly. Don't take it to heart. How could a great monster like you fall for a little female cultivator, right? Even a strand of your hair could crush her to death. If you were to combine with her, wouldn't that be a disgrace to your status? Mei Hanbai's gaze never left Tanggua's body, but he still replied, it's good that you know. How could I combine with a human and a little female cultivator that I could stomp to death with one foot? She's as insignificant as an ant. Even if that's the case, why do you keep staring at her? Mei Hanbai looked like he was about to break down. He gritted his teeth and said, I have a special reason for not being able to leave the snow mountain. I know that. If it weren't for that, we wouldn't have become neighbors. Elder Shui continued, can you get to the point? Every year, I will cultivate an incarnation and release it outside. They have all kinds of identities. When these incarnations meet with danger, that is, when they are killed by others, they will return to my side. At that time, I will merge with my incarnation and be able to know what they have experienced. At the same time, my strength will increase. This can be considered as some of my experiences in the mortal world. These incarnations are originally me. Each one of them has a trace of my soul power. And then? I know all this, but you still haven't gotten to the point. Mei Hanbai stared at Zhou Ru. My incarnation is actually protecting a human female cultivator. This is intolerable. He hated humans the most. Ha ha ha. Elder Shui couldn't help but laugh when he heard this. He had lost control for a moment and even caused a small collapse of the snow mountain. It's over, it's over. I was too excited and it seems to have collapsed on the little girl. Elder Shui was just about to control the snow mountain when Mei Hanbai stopped him. Good, I'll take this opportunity to withdraw my incarnation. My incarnation is me. How could I protect a female cultivator who is as weak as a little chick? It's too embarrassing. With a single thought from Mei Hanbai, Zhou Ru seemed to have sensed something. At the instant when the snow mountain crumbled, he enveloped Tanggua with his energy, causing her to disappear from sight. Junior Tang, take care. Don't lose the bracelet. Senior brother Zhou. Tanggua hurriedly shouted when she was dodging the avalanche. Zhou Ru's words of farewell had caught her off guard. Tanggua did not have the time to check why Zhou Ru suddenly disappeared. Yes, she clearly saw that Zhou Ru was not covered by the snow at the moment when the snow mountain collapsed. Instead, he disappeared. System, host, you have indeed disappeared into thin air. I can't capture anything else. There doesn't seem to be anything here, but the snow mountain is very mysterious. There should be a barrier. Ji Qi did not expect things to happen so suddenly. But this opportunity came at the right time. Without hesitation, he slapped the back of Tanggua's head. Tanggua had always been on guard against Ji Qi, so she quickly dodged. Why? Tanggua asked as she ran away. Ji Qi's gaze was cold. Because of you, Xiang has developed an inner demon. There are other bad things that may happen, so you must die. That was the reason. Since it was going to be an obstacle sooner or later, why not nip it in the bud earlier? Now, wasn't this the perfect opportunity? Oh no, that brat's heart is vicious. Elder Shui shouted. He looked nervously at the fleeing Tanggua. This girl's movement skills are not bad. Let's watch. Chapter 35:56. After fusing with his incarnation, Mei Hanbai's cultivation level increased a little. At the same time, he also gained a little more memories. After looking through those memories, his expression twisted and he casually sealed them away. When he came back to his senses, he looked at Tanggua, who was being chased. He leaned against a plum tree with an indifferent expression, but his eyes were fixed on the bracelet on Tanggua's wrist. That bracelet was a defensive Dharma treasure he gave his incarnation before he left. After all, the longer his incarnation lived, the stronger his cultivation level would be. When the time came for him to fuse with his incarnation, his strength would increase even more. He didn't expect that the simple-minded incarnation would give his own defensive treasure to that weak female cultivator. How could he do such a stupid thing? What a disgrace. Therefore, when he saw that Tangwa was being chased by Ji-Chi to the point that she could only escape, he leaned against the plum tree in a rather good mood. He even took out a wine jug and prepared to have a drink. You're really narrow-minded. Besides, it's not her fault. It's your fault for not being able to keep your heart and wanting to treat her well. Speaking of which, it's your temper that's too strange. She's being wronged. That's not my heart. It's my incarnation's doing. Isn't your incarnation? Mei Hanbai's expression changed. It's only a trace of a soul. There's something wrong with its brain and its intelligence is lacking. It's pardonable that it was bewitched by the female cultivator. So, it's still your fault. It's your brain that's not good. You're a retard. It's not her fault. Old man Shui repeated, don't blame her. She's quite good. Her movement skills are not bad. Look at what she's doing. Mei Hanbai then realized that Tangwa was running in a very strange direction. She wasn't running in one direction. Instead, every time she paused, she seemed to throw something in a certain direction. Array discs. Mei Hanbai's expression turned serious. She's throwing array discs. She's planning to trick that male cultivator. That's right. I knew she was powerful, so I didn't make a move for now. With our identities, it's better for us not to show ourselves. So, humans are all treacherous and cunning. Look. Mei Hanbai's face was full of disdain. She looks like she's being chased, but in the end, she's full of evil tricks. Brother Mei, you can't say it like that. She can't win against that malicious brat on the surface, so she used this method to escape. That's not called evil but smart. She knows how to be flexible. That's the darkness in your heart. In any case, humans are full of bad ideas. Otherwise, how would you have ended up in your current state? You're so powerful, yet the destiny bind is on a little girl. I suspect that you've been tricked. That's still not the same. There are good people and bad people. Moreover, these ties are predestined. No one can arrange them. Unfortunately, the people I met were all bad people. None of them were good. Mei Hanbai's eyes were cold. All of them were greedy. In any case, you can't touch this young lady. As long as she doesn't provoke me, I won't do anything to her. If I really killed everyone I saw, none of the cultivators who came to the snow mountain would be able to leave. But you often used your incarnations to confuse those cultivators with weak minds, often causing them to kill each other. In the end, the two sects became mortal enemies. You've already said that it's because they're not resolute enough. Are you blaming me? I only gave them a treasure. None of them were willing to let it go. They started fighting. Are you blaming me? If they gave up on the treasure, wouldn't everything be fine? Fine. You're right. It's all because they're too greedy. They won't give in at all right? Old man Shui's gaze was once again attracted to Tangwa. Look, the array is complete. Chapter 3557. Tangwa threw down the last formation plate. The formation activated and the wind and clouds changed. Everything changed. Ji-Chi realized that something was wrong, but it was too late. He did not know that this crisis was caused by Tangwa using the formation plate. Thinking that something had happened to the snow mountain, he quickly jumped up and ran towards Tangwa. In the blink of an eye, Tangwa's figure disappeared from his sight. In another blink of an eye, he was surrounded by Tangwa. Yes, they were all Tangwa. Countless Tangwa attacked him. Ji-Chi thought that they must have entered some kind of illusion formation or some kind of miraculous treasure that caused him to hallucinate. He tried to wake himself up, but quickly realized that these Tangwa all had the ability to attack. He could not just sit there and wait for death. Then the two sides began to fight. Tangwa, who had finished using the formation plate, was watching all of this from a corner. Using all the formation plates to escape from Ji-Chi's hands had consumed a lot of her energy. She set up a defensive formation for herself and sat down cross-legged to cultivate. Now she did not need to deliberately condense her golden core. She only needed to absorb spiritual energy to widen her meridians and cultivate all the meridians in her body. It could be said that she would not encounter any bottlenecks for the time being. She could take advantage of this time to improve her strength. She planned to wait for Ji-Chi to exhaust all of his spiritual energy and kill herself. Then she would use the improved powder of a pipe dream to create another illusion. Things were just as Tangwa thought. Ji-Chi was desperately killing the countless Tangwa. It was not that he did not think of breaking out of here, but the other party did not give him any time to think. About half a day later, he had no choice but to reveal his true strength. Mid-stage nascent soul. This brat hid his strength well. Seeing this, old man Shui clicked his tongue. I don't know what kind of deep hatred this brat has for that girl. Why did he have to kill her? What else could it be? It's most likely because they fought over resources. The hatred between human cultivators is nothing more than a conflict of interest. Mei Hanbai drank a cup of wine. He had a whole new level of respect for the array set up by Tanghua. However, he was referring to the ingenuity of the array discs, not her. I don't think so. Brother Mei, why don't you add something to the other party? Aren't you the best at illusions? Oh, that's right, I have a treasure. Let me see what kind of grudge they have. Elder Snow took out a mirror and pointed it at Ji-Chi's position. Instantly, Ji-Chi's life began in the mirror. Mei Hanbai said she wasn't interested, but she still stared at it. The images flickered very quickly, and within a quarter of an hour, they had seen Ji-Chi's entire life. After reading it, Mei Hanbai felt that the wine in his hand was no longer fragrant. He threw the flask away. Old man Shui hurriedly caught it. AI, if you don't want to drink anymore, give it to me. Don't waste it. See, I told you it wasn't that simple. This little girl is actually the benefactor of that poisonous brat. In the end, that poisonous brat even planned to kill her. So, humans are all ungrateful. Actually, he doesn't know either. Mei Hanbai laughed coldly. So what if he doesn't know? Just because he doesn't know, does he lose all ability to judge? Because of prejudice, he denies a person's good intentions. This is the self-deception and intoxication of humans. This is the reason why I hate humans. Many times, when they are just one step away from the truth, they just don't want to investigate. They only rely on their own subjective judgment to judge right and wrong. He only thinks that the other female cultivator is his benefactor, so he ignores that this female cultivator isn't so bad. There are some things that he deliberately doesn't ask about and pretends not to know. In the end, he's just being selfish. Chapter 3558. Are you saying that the little girl is a good person? Old man Shui grasped the crux of the matter. Like I said, she's a good person. What I mean is, she's good to someone like Ji-Chi, but I'm not sure about anything else. What an awkward person. I'm not a person. That little girl didn't actually try to kill you, can't you tell? She's too soft-hearted. It's better to kill someone who tries to kill herself. Mei Hanbai said. Old man Shui couldn't help but laugh. If she doesn't kill you, you'll say she's too soft-hearted. If she kills you, you'll probably say that humans are just like that. I say, Brother Mei, you're a human, no, a demon. You're really hard to please. For the sake of this little girl's life, I'll help her out. Old man Shui tossed the mirror out. Once the illusion passes, the other party will probably see this mirror. When they see the truth, they probably won't bother the little girl anymore. Ji-Chi noticed that the illusions of Tanghua were decreasing in number. It was as if he had seen hope, and he used all his spiritual energy to kill them. A few days later, he finally killed the Tanghua that appeared in the illusion, and the surrounding environment also changed. He didn't relax because the real Tanghua wasn't dead yet. At this point, he had to kill her in one fell swoop to prevent any further complications. Very quickly, he found Tanghua's position. She was just a mere foundation establishment complete. Even if his spiritual energy was almost depleted, killing her was still a piece of cake. She seemed to have encountered something as well. Her face was extremely pale. It was probably the same as the illusions he had encountered. Ji-Chi didn't hesitate and pierced Tanghua's heart with his sword. He used all his strength to feel the other party's life force fading away. This time he finally let out a sigh of relief. It's actually an array within an array. I really don't know where this little girl got so many array discs. Old man Shui muttered. Seeing this, he suddenly felt that there must be another reason why Tanghua didn't kill her. At this time, Tanghua followed the plan and released the improved version of a pipe dream. Old man Shui saw this and shut his mouth. That drug is a little strange. It can confuse a person's mind. Although it's much weaker than my ability, it's more than enough to confuse Ji-Chi. Mei Hanbai said, looks like she's not soft-hearted. Instead, she's full of scheming. This is indeed the style of humans. Hee, old Snow. Ji-Chi had not even noticed the mirror that old man Shui had thrown down, and had already fallen into an illusion. In this illusion, he saw his entire life, including everything that he had never seen before. What was most inconceivable to him was that when he was being hunted down, the first person he met while he was unconscious on the road was Tanghua. He didn't believe that Tanghua had fed him a pill and then put him on the branch. What was even more inconceivable was that after he left, Tang Xiang appeared and helped him from the branch to a cave to recuperate. What followed was what happened after he woke up. What happened after that was exactly the same. Only, some things didn't seem to be the same as what he had imagined. For example, those disciples in the sect. After he had reprimanded Tanghua, they had turned around and left. Those disciples had a smug expression on their faces. One look and he knew that there was something fishy going on. Impossible. Ji-Chi woke up from the illusion, his expression twisted. How could it be her? The one who saved me was clearly Xiang. She's cold and heartless. She's not even close to me. How could she save me? Chapter 35:59. Ji-Chi's body was drenched in cold sweat. Everything he saw in the illusion made him uneasy. He walked over to the corpse of Tanghua and confirmed that she was dead. He panicked and hurriedly struck the snow mountain with his spiritual energy, causing the snow on top to roll down and bury Tanghua's corpse. After doing all this, he still panicked and thought that he had to leave this place immediately. He dragged his heavy footsteps and walked outside. He wanted to leave quickly, but he could not move quickly. Inadvertently, he saw a shiny object and hurriedly ran over. It was a mirror. He instinctively picked it up to examine it. Why was there a mirror here? Could it be that the illusion from before was caused by this mirror? When the mirror shone on Ji-Chi's face, it showed the scene of his birth. Ji-Chi wanted to throw the mirror away, but no matter what, he could not let go. He stared unblinkingly at the mirror. It was as if there was an invisible force that forced him to keep looking. What happened in the mirror was very similar to what he saw in the illusion. In fact, it was much more detailed. In the illusion he could only see a rough outline. Some things were blurry and incomplete. However, in the mirror it was extremely clear. Especially this time he saw it especially clearly. When Ji-Chi finished looking, his lips were pale and his entire body was wet as if he had been scooped out of water. He looked as if he would collapse at any moment. His hands trembled and the mirror in his hands kept shaking. He was stunned for a long time before he asked in an incredulous voice, "What happened here is real? Is this the truth? How can this be the truth? How can the truth be like this?" He did not want to believe it. Although there was nothing wrong with the Tang Xiang in the mirror, it was so coincidental that she appeared right after Tanghua saved someone. No matter how he looked at it, there was something wrong. Ji-Chi's eyes were red and he gripped the mirror tightly. This is not real. The mirror said, "My name is the mirror of this life. I can see everything that has happened in your life. As long as it is within your range, I can basically see everything that has happened." The mirror of this life? The mirror said, "Yes, my name is the mirror of this life. You can look it up in ancient books. I am a very special treasure. Everything you see is real." Ji-Chi really wanted to lie to himself that this was not real. However, whether it was in the illusion or in the mirror of present life, there were many details that he had experienced. The last time he was locked up in the cliff of reflection, it was also there. Ji-Chi hurriedly put away the mirror and rushed to the place where he had buried Tanghua's body. He did not know how to describe his expression. Pale, helpless, devastated, sad, depressed. These words were not enough to describe it. His mind was buzzing. If everything in the illusion and the mirror of present life were real, then wouldn't he have killed his savior with his own hands? Why would Tang Xiang appear so coincidentally and take him away? In fact, Tang Xiang only dragged him into the cave and did not feed him any pills. Tang Xiang should have medicinal pills. Why did she only move him to another place when she saw that he was injured and did not feed him any medicinal pills? It was as if he was certain that he would wake up. If that was the case, Tang Xiang must have seen Tanghua saving someone. Also, how could Tang Xiang's jade pendant, which represented her identity, have coincidentally fallen into the cave? She was a meticulous person. How could she be so careless? Why had he not thought about all of this before? The peak. Chapter 35:60. There were still so many flaws, but he didn't want to think about it at all. If he had thought about it more, would things have turned out this way? He also remembered that when he went to thank the family Tang, Tanghua had said that there was no need to thank her, that it was just a matter of convenience. At that time, this sentence was mocked by many people. The family Tang and he all thought that Tanghua was trying to steal the credit. It was from then on that he couldn't stand this genius junior sister of his and never looked her in the eye again. Every time he saw her, there was only disgust and impatience in his eyes. No matter what happened, he wouldn't ask for the reason. The first thing he would think was that she must have done something wrong. She must have done something wrong. For a person like her, if something bad happened, it must be her fault. Ji-Chi crazily dug through the snow to find Tanghua's body. The reason why he didn't use his spiritual power and sword was because he was afraid that his spiritual power would be too sharp and destroy her body. When Mei Hanbai saw this scene, he gave a rare smile. Wonderful, old man Shua, well done. Actually, that little girl's medicine is still the best. When used with my this life mirror, the effect is really great. This time that poisonous brat won't harm her life anymore. Although I lost the this life mirror, it was worth it. You didn't take the this life mirror back. That thing can only be used 3 times. After 3 times, it will become an ordinary mirror. There's still one more time, but I don't have much use for it. I saw that a lot had happened to that little girl, so I might as well leave it for that brat. Who knows, it might be useful. You're always thinking about her. I'm only thinking about my own life. Now, my connection with her is even deeper. Brother May, don't you feel it? Perhaps this little girl can be of great help to me. If that's the case, I won't be bound anymore. I'll be free. Like that? Yes, this intuition is very strong. It can't be wrong. So she can't die. I liked her to begin with, and now that her fate is tied to mine, I have to protect her. Old man Shue said very seriously. Brother May, don't you have a lot of incarnations outside? Why don't you send 2 to protect her so that no one can harm her life? Doesn't she have a protective talisman with her? There is no danger for the time being. Magic treasures are dead, but people are alive. Those who want to harm her can be harmed in any way. Think about it, if I can escape, it means that you can also escape. Haven't you noticed that the girl's luck is very strong? It's almost bursting with purple energy, and it even has a faint Buddhist aura. Can ordinary people have it? Meihan Bai, I'll think about it. What's there to think about? You can send 2 incarnations to protect her. It's not like you're going there yourself. Both of you have different appearances, so she won't know. Brother May, I was the one who provided you with the ice spring that you used to brew wine. All right, I'll make the arrangements. Meihan Bai compromised. Even old man Snow had said so. Most importantly, he didn't want to be trapped here forever. It wasn't that he didn't see the purple aura on the other party's body, but he was a little confused. He was clearly a small grasshopper, but how could he have such great luck? Furthermore, his incarnation had actually done such a shameful thing, causing him to lose face. He looked back at Ji Chi, who was still in the illusion. After a long time, he finally threw away the snow, revealing Tangua's corpse. He looked at the corpse, especially the hole in her chest, and instantly collapsed. Chapter 3561. Ji Chi cautiously walked over and checked her breathing. He had already confirmed that she was deader than dead. At this moment he was actually hoping for a miracle. He hoped that he had been careless and that she was not really dead. She had pretended to be dead in order to escape and confuse his eyes. However, this corpse was cold and did not have any breath. The spiritual power on it had almost dissipated. Ji Chi hugged Tangua's corpse and his eyes instantly turned red. Can't you? How could you die so easily? Why didn't you tell me the truth? Why didn't you tell me everything? If you had told me everything, would you have ended up like this today? Ji Chi shook Tangua's corpse and hugged her tightly. He sat motionless in the snow. If you had told me everything, how could I have done that to you and taken your life? At this moment, Ji Chi's heart was filled with guilt and sadness. Suddenly he laughed again because he remembered something. A few drops of tears fell from his red eyes. I'm sorry. I forgot that you told me before. From the first time we met, you told me that you were the one who helped me. But I didn't believe you. Later on you said it a few times, but I still didn't believe you. I even mocked you and thought that you were trying to get on my good side. I thought that you wanted to steal your sister's credit just because you were talented. Tangua watched as Ji Chi broke down in the snow and recalled the past. Even though he was in a sorry state, sad, broken down, and looked very desperate, she was not moved at all. Didn't he deserve it? I will find out the truth and give you justice. Ji Chi hugged Tangua's corpse and prepared to leave the snow mountain. No matter who framed you, I will not let her have it easy. When she heard this, Tangua knew that she had succeeded this time. Ji Chi believed everything he saw in the illusion and began to suspect Tang Xiang. Once Ji Chi became suspicious of someone, his intelligence would increase by 100-fold. He would appear especially calm, and he would recall small details that he did not pay attention to in the past and use them as evidence to expose the other party. As for the mirror that Ji Chi picked up and seemed to have seen something in it, Tangua was curious but did not intend to ask. She had achieved her goal. It would take some time for the illusion to disappear. While Ji Chi was still upset, she planned to find Zhou Ru's whereabouts. See, the little girl is still very loyal. She came to find you after solving her problem. Old man Shue saw that Tangua was looking for someone in the snowy mountains, so he helped to put in a good word for her. Speaking of which, anyone with a bit of conscience would be very worried about you retracting your avatar. Brother May, the little girl is so worried. Why don't you tell her that you're fine and that she doesn't need to worry? Meihan Bai, is that necessary? I think so. If you don't make it clear, I'm afraid she'll keep looking for you in the snow mountain. He probably just searched for a while before leaving. Then let's take a gamble. Let's see if she'll keep looking. Old man Shui believed that he was a good judge of character. If I win, go and make it clear to her so that she won't worry. Don't forget she and I are tied together by fate. I still need her to help me break free. Meihan Bai compromised. Okay. Chapter 3562. Let's set a time. How about a month? I think she won't even be able to last 10 days. Meihan Bai felt that his idea was correct. 10 days then. If she can search for 10 days in the snow mountain, you win. Haha, then you've lost for sure. Great host, we haven't found Zhou Ru's whereabouts. When he disappeared into thin air, he even covered your body with a layer of energy. It seems like he knows where he's going. He's not panicking at all. Maybe he's in some mystic realm. Let's continue searching. Anyway, we can cultivate as we search. It won't delay anything. Ji Qi's illusion will be broken soon. When he finds out that I'm not dead, he'll definitely ask me all sorts of questions. I don't want to talk to him for now. Let him and Tang Xiang torture each other. That's right. Let's look for Zhou Ru. He's not bad. If you really encounter any danger, he can help you. Tang Gua cultivated as she searched. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. Because she was in the snow mountain, the spiritual energy was rich. Furthermore, she would occasionally find some spiritual treasures for cultivation. As a result, her power increased by a lot. Tang Gua looked at the tribulation cloud above her head without fear. She found a relatively safe place and began to break through. Host, this tribulation cloud has been following you for many days. It's very persistent. It seems like it won't be satisfied until it strikes you. I suspect that this tribulation cloud has a performance. If it doesn't complete its performance, it won't be allowed to return. The system began to chatter. Then it's a little unlucky. Great host won't be able to condense a golden core. It'll never be able to strike you. It does seem a little pitiful. Tang Gua glanced at the tribulation cloud above her that had expanded a little. It seemed like it was ready to strike lightning at any time. She pursed her lips and smiled. Then she closed her eyes and began to break through. It was the same scene as when she was condensing her golden core. The wind and clouds changed and countless spiritual energy surged into her body. It was as if she could condense her golden core at any time. The tribulation cloud in the sky was so excited that it almost fell apart when it saw this. It believed that this cultivator would definitely be able to condense her golden core this time. When the time came, it would not give her a chance to react. Once she condensed her golden core, it would immediately strike her and leave. Brother, may you lose? Old man Shui stroked his chin and stroked his long white beard. He smiled so widely that his eyes narrowed into slits. This girl has found another way. She really is a genius. If you take out the treasures of the snow mountain and give them to her, she will become greedy. Meihan Bai said. That's not a big deal. What's important is that you've lost. Wait for her to break through, then go and explain everything to her. You can't let her keep looking for you here, right? Since I've lost, I don't intend to go back on my word. After Meihan Bai finished speaking, his devilishly handsome face changed into Zhou Ru's simple and honest appearance. He uncomfortably squeezed out a smile. Looking at the person in the mirror, his expression was somewhat distorted. How could I have such a clumsy avatar? It's not good looking, and when it smiles it looks like a fool. Brother Mei, why are you scolding yourself when you can't figure it out? Are you bored recently? Tang Gua's breakthrough took half a month. Following her breakthrough in cultivation, the surrounding wild winds and spiritual energy also stopped. Everything fell into silence. The little tribulation cloud, which was ready to strike lightning at any time, was dumbfounded when it saw this. It hurriedly stopped the lightning and went to check if Tang Gua had formed her golden core. Reality proved that she hadn't. Chapter 3563. At this moment, Tang Gua seemed to be at the peak of the foundation establishment stage, but her true strength had already reached the nascent soul stage. When Tang Gua stood up, she felt the gaze from the sky, but she didn't mind. At this moment, the little tribulation cloud was probably doubting its life. Dear host, the little tribulation cloud should be angry. Look, it's about to fall apart from anger. Tang Gua looked up. Indeed, the little tribulation cloud was trembling all over as if it was really angry. As if sensing Tang Gua's gaze, it hurriedly ran away. Of course it didn't go far. Instead, it hid in another layer of clouds, secretly watching Tangwa. It didn't understand. This female cultivator always made such a big scene, but she just didn't form her core. What was she doing? Tangwa prepared to continue looking for Zhou Ru while cultivating. At this moment, Ji Qi should have left the illusion. She was already very far away, so Ji Qi couldn't find her. If he couldn't find her, he would probably go out to confirm. When he met Tang Xiang, who knew what Ji Qi would do. Just as Tangwa was about to head in a direction to look for Zhou Ru, a figure suddenly appeared not far away. Looking closely, who else could it be other than Zhou Ru? Tangwa hesitated for a moment, then shouted, "Senior brother Zhou?" The reason why she used a doubtful tone was because the other party looked like Zhou Ru, but she didn't feel that it was Zhou Ru. When she ran over and got closer, she instantly felt a sense of familiarity from her soul. She was a little confused. This person did indeed have Zhou Ru's aura. No, it should be said that Zhou Ru and this person had a similar aura. Moreover, this person's aura was very strong. "You can go out." "I'm fine," Mei Hanbai said unwillingly. "You don't have to search blindly in the snow mountain." When Elder Shui, who was hiding in the dark, heard this, he didn't feel good. Her acting was too bad. It would be strange if she didn't notice. "You're not senior brother Zhou. What did you do to him?" Tangwa narrowed her eyes. No matter who the other party was, if they really killed Zhou Ru, she had to take revenge. Mei Hanbai could feel the killing intent coming from Tangwa. She was speechless and had mixed feelings. "I already said that I'm fine. Hurry up and get out. What's the point of staying here?" "I can go out. Hand over senior martial brother Zhou and I'll go out." Mei Hanbai gritted her teeth. She had already fused with him. How could she hand it over? "You are no match for me. You are just courting death." At this point, Mei Hanbai suddenly thought of a plan. "How about this? I'll give you appropriate compensation. Hurry up and leave. Don't be an eyesore in front of me." After saying those words, a jade box appeared in Mei Hanbai's hand. Opening the jade box, a plum blossom exuding dense spiritual energy lay within. This is a spirit herb that can only be found by chance. Consuming a single plum blossom is enough to raise your cultivation by 100 years. If you promise to leave immediately, I'll give it to you. A smug smile appeared on Mei Hanbai's face. Humans were all greedy. This was a treasure that could increase one's cultivation by 100 years. He didn't believe that the other party wouldn't be tempted. In the past, no one had been able to escape from this move. Many people had killed each other in order to snatch a single plum blossom from him. In the end, they were buried in the snow mountain forever, unable to leave. "I think it's better for you to hand over senior martial brother Zhou." Tangwa didn't even look at the plum blossom. Was this fellow trying to bribe her with the plum blossom? This is a treasure that can increase one's cultivation by 100 years. You don't want it? Senior martial brother Zhou is more important. When Mei Hanbai heard this reply, he suddenly felt uncomfortable. What was so good about that stupid and dumb clone of his? It wasn't worth 100 years of cultivation at all. Chapter 3564. What's so good about that big idiot? He can't compare to this plum blossom at all. At least it's more important to me. Mei Hanbai was furious. He crushed the jade box, destroying the plum blossom along with it. Dense spiritual energy floated in the air. "Brother Mei, you're that big idiot. Why are you angry? She values that big idiot, so doesn't that mean she values you? Did you seal the memories of that incarnation? If you release the memories, I guarantee you'll be in a good mood for a long time." Old Man Snow transmitted his voice. Mei Hanbai's emotions stabilized a bit, but when he saw Tangwa's hostile gaze, his mood worsened again. Releasing the memories? That was impossible. He didn't want to become that big idiot incarnation, protecting a weak human female cultivator and acting like an idiot. "To tell you the truth, I've already eaten that big idiot." Mei Hanbai revealed a malicious smile. "You'll never see him again. You can't beat me, so what can you do to me?" System, host, is there something wrong with this person? Tangwa didn't believe Mei Hanbai's words. Actually, when she sensed that his aura was similar to Zhou Ru's, she had already guessed the truth. Combined with Zhou Ru's sudden disappearance, her guess should be true. "I know you didn't eat senior martial brother Zhou." Mei Hanbai was a bit surprised. He thought she would fly into a rage out of humiliation and fight him to the death. "I'm indebted to senior martial brother Zhou for taking care of me these days. Help me tell him that I thank him." Tangwa raised her wrist, planning to take off the bracelet. For some reason she couldn't take it off. Mei Hanbai couldn't help but interrupt when he saw her like that. "You'll have to wear that bracelet for your entire life. You can't take it off, so don't waste your energy. How could he be so stupid to do such a shameful thing? Since that's the case, then help me thank Senior Marshal Brother Zhou. If there's a chance to meet him in the future, I'll always welcome him. So, Zhou Ru was an incarnation? Tangwa sank into deep thought. So, alchemist Leng Xing was also an incarnation? After all, he also had that kind of aura. The person in front of her, no, maybe he couldn't be considered a person. He cultivated an incarnation and was sent out to the mortal world to temper himself? From the looks of it, he should know who she was. In that case, Zhou Ru must be his incarnation, and the two of them had fused together. Mei Hanbai did not understand why Tangwa had left just like that. Looking at the other party's back, Zhang Xian recalled the way she treated Zhou Ru in his main body, and he stood on the spot, smashing snow. You brat, you've been bullied elsewhere. Don't destroy my snow mountain, okay? Old man Shui hurriedly stopped him. You really should learn from your incarnation. Look at your incarnations, there are all kinds of them. Their temperaments are good, that's why young ladies like them. You're different. Every time you open your mouth, you talk about eating people. No wonder people don't like you. Don't meddle in other people's business. I'm just angry. As my incarnation, you actually went around disgracing yourself. Old man Shui, what shame. You just can't bear to see a pretty girl value his incarnation and not him. Wasn't it all him? He was even angry. Awkward lad. Madam Host, what's wrong? Aren't we out now? Do you have any questions? When the system saw Tangwa standing outside the snow mountain, it looked behind her instead. I just feel that it was too easy inside the snow mountain. It's a little unbelievable. Logically speaking, it shouldn't be an easy thing to walk out of the snow mountain. But I only spent a day to walk out. I even collected quite a few spiritual herbs along the way. Don't you think that it was these spiritual herbs that appeared that led the way for me? Chapter 3565. That's true. Host, you've gained a lot this time. The system paused. Could it be that someone did this on purpose? It could be. Tangwa looked at the snowy mountains behind her. But it shouldn't be that person. It definitely isn't that person. That person has such a bad temper, why would he lead the way for you? Right, Host, how do you know he isn't Zhou Ru? His aura is the same as Senior Brother Zhou's. Senior Brother Zhou's expression was off the moment he entered the snowy mountains, as if he knew something was about to happen. When he disappeared, he seemed to have sensed something as well. So, Senior Brother Zhou should be that person's avatar. Tangwa replied. Some strong people don't like to travel outside, so they'll cultivate avatars. They'll send a sliver of their soul into the avatar to train in their stead. When the time comes, they'll merge with the avatar. This is equivalent to going out to train themselves. So, that person can be considered Zhou Ru? Then Leng Xing? There's a high chance he is. That person is very strong. The system suddenly came to its senses. So, he wasn't forced to split open, he split open of his own accord. But his personality isn't likable and he's very fierce. Let's not do it this time. Tangwa couldn't help but smile. Let's not care about him. Let's deal with our current situation first. We'll talk when we get out. Old man Shui, I think it's a thankless task to lead the way for her. Look, she's so suspicious. She must think I wouldn't do something like that. Old man Shui sighed. Who told you to give her such a bad impression? But she didn't say much about you. She's just a bit unfamiliar with you and thinks highly of your avatar. After she found out, her attitude towards you improved a bit. Really? Not necessarily. Wait, she knows it's my avatar? Oh, you've realized. If she didn't know, would her attitude be so good? According to her personality, even if she can't kill you, she'll come back for revenge in the future. She actually saw through it. Mei Hanbai couldn't believe it, but he still felt uncomfortable. As for why, he couldn't find the reason. I'm only helping her out of respect for you. After all, she can't die. Old man Shui, for his sake, can you dig up some more treasures for her to pick? This young man who didn't mean what he said, obviously had taken a fancy to her. Brother Mei, remember the matter I discussed with you before. Arrange for 2 incarnations to protect her. I won't forget. Tangwa successfully returned to Long Cave City. At this time, the problem of the beast tide in Long Cave City was almost solved. However, the cultivators of the various sects did not return. Last time, their sects had suffered heavy losses. They planned to guard this place well and kill those demonic beasts that dared to charge over. Only then could they vent their anger. As soon as Tangwa returned, she met Wu Mingxin. Wu Mingxin was very happy to see her. Senior Sister Tang, are you all right? You've been missing for so long. If Elder Feng didn't say that your soul tablet wasn't broken, I would have thought. I'm fine. Wu Mingxin looked around and hesitated before asking, where's Senior Marshal Brother Zhou? Senior Marshal Brother Zhou has some matters to attend to. Oh, is that so? That's good. Elder Feng said that your soul tablets aren't broken. Alright, Senior Marshal Brother Ji came back a while ago. He said that you encountered a powerful demonic beast and fled to the snow mountain. Chapter 3566. There is such a thing. Then you should rest first. It's almost done here. I should return to the sect in a few days. Tang Guo returned to her room. Not long after, there was a knock on the door. She opened the door and Ji Qi's figure appeared before her. Where did you go? Tang Guo looked up and glanced at him indifferently. Are you surprised that I'm not dead yet? You didn't get your way. I won't kill you again. I'll investigate the truth and clear your name, Ji Qi hurriedly said. I was wrong in the past. And then? Seeing her stubborn look, Ji Qi felt a little uncomfortable in his heart. I owe you. I already know some things. There's something wrong with Tang Xiang. I'll investigate it thoroughly. She was the one who appeared after you saved me. It was really her scheme. I won't let her have it easy. That has nothing to do with me. You're the one who wanted to kill me. What you do is your business. Tang Guo pointed at the door. Any compensation you make is meaningless to me. Some things have already happened. No matter what you do, you can't make up for it. I know. I should have trusted you in the past. No matter what you do, I won't forgive you. If you have any doubts, why don't you carefully recall what you've done all these years? Investigate the truth and clear my name. Can you change what happened in the past? No. In any case, I'll give you an explanation. Investigate this matter as soon as possible. Actually, he had already determined that there was something wrong with Tang Xiang. However, the other party's disguise was too good. Even if he saw the scene in the mirror of present life, it was difficult to find any fault with Tang Xiang. She was almost perfect. The only thing that made him suspicious was that after Tang Guo saved him, Tang Xiang immediately appeared and brought him to the cave. It's too suspicious. I'm very glad that you're still alive. Ji Qi turned around and said to Tang Guo, you can tell me whatever you want at any time. I'll definitely do it. I saw that sword. You didn't hesitate to stab me in the heart. I don't know what you saw, but I saw that sword clearly. Before that, you wanted to kill me. Therefore you are my enemy. Ji Qi didn't say anything. He didn't know what to say and felt a little flustered. He quickly left the room. He would definitely get to the bottom of this. Not long after Ji Qi returned to his room, Tang Xiang came looking for him. Eldest senior brother, I heard that elder sister has returned. Is that true? Tang Xiang observed Ji Qi's expression. Previously, she was certain that Ji Qi wanted Tang Guo's life. However, when he returned, he said that he had encountered a powerful demonic beast and was lost in the snow mountain. She thought that Ji Qi had succeeded. Unexpectedly, Tang Guo came back. Could it be that Tang Guo's luck had caused him to encounter another fortuitous encounter? Yes, she's back. I went to see her just now. Is elder sister all right? Ji Qi looked at Tang Xiang and said, it seems like she's fine. She won't die so easily. Didn't I tell you not to ask about her anymore? Tang Xiang buried her head and said, no matter what, she's still my sister. Xiang, tell me honestly. Do you know something? Senior brother, I don't know. You're thinking too much. Tang Xiang pretended to be flustered. This appearance made people believe that she knew something. Ji Qi looked at Tang Xiang's expression and his heart sank. On the surface, he looked gentle, but the depths of his eyes were incomparably cold. Chapter 3567. With Tang Xiang's performance, why did he believe her without a doubt in the past? Xiang, I originally planned to get rid of her because I know everything. I heard you meditating several times in a row. You're now trapped by your inner demon. Only by killing her will you have a chance to improve. However, I don't know what happened. Her cultivation is clearly much weaker than mine, but I can't kill her. Eldest senior brother, how could you? Xiang, I heard everything. She'll become a demon in the future, right? She'll kill your parents and even bring danger to the absolute beginning sect. Xiang, can you really bear to see these people die in her hands? If you don't want to, tell me everything. Even if you don't kill her, you have to be on guard. You can't let her make a comeback. Tang Xiang was a little smug. It seemed that Ji Qi couldn't wait to get rid of Tang Guo. That was why he said all this. This man had always been like this. He had always gotten rid of potential dangers. Although he said he was on guard, he was still thinking of ways to kill people. She pretended that she didn't know anything and only wanted to share this secret with her eldest senior brother. Ji Qi's heart was in turmoil as he listened to Tang Xiang tell him her secret. Rebirth? Tang Xiang didn't want to expose her rebirth, but Ji Qi wouldn't believe her if she said it was a dream. If he believed that his biological sister was a bad person because of a dream, people would suspect that her feelings for Tangguo were fake. Especially Ji Qi. This person wasn't easy to fool. If she didn't know him so well, why would Ji Qi say such things? I was able to save eldest senior brother because I heard that he was ambushed and would die that time. That's why I rushed over in advance. I didn't expect it to be the same as what I experienced. Tang Xiang didn't know that Ji Qi already knew the truth. She thought that saying this would make Ji Qi more convinced. There was also that time when Master was in danger. I was prepared. Otherwise, Master would have disappeared forever. This is what I heard later. It said that my sister escaped that time. She only said that Master's spiritual power was exhausted and unfortunately died. Also, even though Tang Xiang's words were very realistic, Ji Qi didn't believe her at all. Since Tang Xiang was a reincarnated person, many things could be connected. She knew some of the things that had happened and planned to snatch the opportunity in advance. That was why he had coincidentally appeared at that time. He shouldn't have died so easily. Tang Xiang was just lying to him. As for his master, he had countless trump cards. Even if he encountered danger, he would not die so easily. At that time, Tangguo should still be the genius girl who was almost at the nascent soul stage. Even if Tang Xiang was prepared, what could she do with her strength? Resisting the power of the spatial tear would be a problem. So, a lot of things might have happened, but the specific things that Tang Xiang was talking about were all lies. Connecting all these things together, they all seemed to be criticizing Tangguo. Eldest senior brother, I originally wanted to bury this secret in my heart, but recently big sister has made me very worried that I will repeat the same mistake. A smile appeared on Ji Qi's face. He stroked Tang Xiang's head and comforted her in a low voice. Xiang, don't worry. Eldest senior brother will help you solve these worries. Eldest senior brother, I have a request. Can you spare elder sister's life? It's fine as long as she doesn't turn into a demon. Chapter 3568. I promise you that I won't let her turn into a demon. How could she turn into a demon? In his opinion, this person who was not a demon was more like a demon. Tang Xiang was certain that with Ji Qi's help, Tangguo would not be able to get away with it this time. On the surface, Tangguo realized that Ji Qi was still indifferent to her. However, when no one was paying attention, Ji Qi explained to her, "For now, I will maintain the status quo with you. Otherwise, that weasel will not show her true colors. I will find a chance to expose her. She is very good at disguising herself. Master trusts her a lot. We have to find a reason." A few days later, Yu Heng and Feng Gulin brought their disciples back to the sect. Tangguo did not plan to go back for the time being. She wanted to train outside. Yu Heng ignored her. He rarely asked about Tangguo's matters and did not want to. However, Feng Gulin reminded her to be careful. At the same time, he gave her the sect's reward. Tang Xiang went back with Yu Heng. However, she did not see Ji Qi and Tu Zhong. Master, is eldest senior brother not going back with us? Qi said that he wants to go out to train and find an opportunity to break through. Yu Heng was never worried about his eldest disciple. Recently, you have been cultivating wholeheartedly. Your cultivation progress is getting slower and slower. Thinking about this, Yu Heng sighed. Xiang, there are some things that I know. If you don't let it go, it will be very difficult for you to cultivate in the future. Master, I know that you are a kind girl. However, being too kind is not a good thing. Some things should be left to nature. Master, Xiang has disappointed you. You don't have to ask about her in the future. Find a chance. I also plan to dissolve the master-disciple relationship with her. Since she has been stuck at the peak of the foundation establishment stage for many years, let her move to the outer sect. No matter what, with the title of Yu Heng's disciple, she would receive more resources. The spiritual energy in the inner peak was more abundant than that in the outer sect. As long as these were cut off, even if she turned into a demon, she would not be able to achieve anything without resources. The main thing was to let the two of them meet less and chase her to the outer sect. This way Xiang would not be trapped by her inner demon. Although it was somewhat unkind in this matter, he chose to side with the kind-hearted Xiang. He was not a person who could go berserk at any moment and endanger the world of cultivation. As for why Yu Heng trusted Tang Xiang, it was because he had watched Tang Xiang grow up. When she was in danger, she did not choose to run away. Instead, she gave up the chance to live and insisted on following him, her master. How could he not be biased towards such a disciple? What about Tanghua? She was not very close to him, her master. During that crisis, he saw Xiang busying herself. With her little strength, she still had to take care of him, her master. She did not think about her own safety at all. What about Tanghua? He only sat cross-legged at the side and meditated. Perhaps he was recovering his strength, but he did not care about his master at all. He did not even say a word of concern, which made him bitterly disappointed. Xiang's talent is poor, but her temperament is good. In the future, if he had the chance, he would give the primordial flame flower to Xiang to make up for this flaw. Tanghua first went to the market to deal with the demonic beast she had obtained these days. After dealing with it, he planned to go to the medicine market to find Leng Xing to refine pills. He had promised to look for her at any time, so she did not plan to be polite. However, before she reached the medicine market, she was stopped by someone. The person who stopped her was Tang Sun. Father and mother want you to go back. They have something to discuss with you. If it was not an urgent matter, Tang Sun would not be willing to come. Chapter 3569. Tanghua wanted to refuse. She didn't want to go back to family Tang. The only thing he needed to do now was to increase his strength as soon as possible. Even though her strength should be at the original infant stage, there were far too many powerhouses in this world. Only by increasing his strength would he have more authority to speak. However, Tang Sun had revealed to her that someone from the Li family had come. Is the Li family here to break off the engagement? Tanghua asked. According to the plot, the Li family saw that she didn't have a chance to recover. In addition, Tang Xiang had taken the mixed yuan flame flower. Li Sui was also concerned about Tang Xiang, so he persuaded the family to cancel the engagement. At that time, the original owner was in an extremely sorry state. Even if she didn't like Li Sui, the words of her parents and the Li family that day would have made anyone else faint. We'll know when we get back. Tang Sun didn't want to say anything more to Tanghua. In his eyes, this sister didn't seem like his biological sister at all. This sister of his was jealous and unreasonable. She was probably here to collect a debt in her previous life. Tanghua didn't care about Tang Sun's disgusted gaze. Since someone from the Li family had come, it was fine. He would settle this matter as soon as possible. She didn't care for a fiancé who only existed in name. After returning to family Tang, Tanghua first went to see her parents. The way the two of them looked at her was rather unfamiliar, and there was not even the slightest bit of fondness. Someone from the Li family is here. Father Tang said, it's about your engagement with young Master Li. You're already 19 years old. Ever since that incident, my cultivation hasn't improved for 5 or 6 years, and I've been stuck at the peak of the foundation establishment stage. Actually, the Li family is not bad. It's a good place to settle down. Our family and the Li family have been friends for generations. If you go over, you won't suffer. Mrs. Tang said. The conversation between the two made Tanghua understand. The Li family was not here to cancel the engagement, but to propose marriage. However, Li Sui already had feelings for Tang Xiang. It was just that he did not show it so obviously. How could he agree to become Dao companions with a piece of trash like her? Although Li Sui's talent wasn't top grade, it was still top grade, better than most people's talent. She wouldn't become Dao companions with someone who had no future just because their families were old friends, right? He was the most important member of the younger generation of the Li family. It was impossible for him to be sacrificed. Rather than that, he might as well form an alliance with the geniuses of a large sect or clan. So, the Li family is here to propose marriage? Tanghua asked. Mrs. Tang's expression softened. They're here to propose marriage. Tanghua's gaze swept across the three of them. She was silent for a moment. She couldn't see anything from their faces. However, she felt that things were not that simple and asked, young Master Li Sui also came? Tanghua deliberately said Li Sui's full name because she didn't think that Li Sui would force himself to marry a good-for-nothing like her. Sure enough, after she asked this question, the three of them looked at each other. Father Tang and Mother Tang looked a little embarrassed, but Tang Sun's expression was natural, and he didn't feel embarrassed at all. The person who came wasn't Li Sui. Tang Sun's eyes were filled with disdain when he said this. He didn't know why his biological sister would think that Li Sui would like her. I remember that Li Sui is the one who has an engagement with me. The person who answered was still Tang Sun. Although you do have an engagement with Li Sui, the two families have a good relationship. Originally, Li Sui promised to give you some time. Perhaps you could cultivate back to your original state, but so many years have passed. Chapter 3570. Your cultivation has been stagnant for 5 or 6 years, right? You've always been at the peak of the foundation establishment stage. It seems that you can't go any further. Tang Sun said, I heard that your combat ability is very strong, but no matter how strong your combat ability is, it can only be used against people who are at the same level as you. In the face of absolute strength, the other party can kill you with one finger. Also, if you stay at the foundation establishment stage and can't condense a golden core, your lifespan will be limited. And you should know Li Sui's talent. He has a promising future. The two of you are actually no longer suitable for each other. Father, mother, the clan leader, and the elders have all discussed it. This time, the Li family has also shown enough sincerity. They will definitely not treat you badly. Father Tang spoke again. Your mother and I have also thought about it. The Li family is a good home for you. It's also close to our family Tang. You won't suffer any grievances there. In your current situation, it's actually not suitable for you to continue staying in the sect. I heard that your sect has some kind of system. If you haven't cultivated to the golden core stage, you will be driven to the outer sect after a few years. At that time, I'm afraid your face will not look good. Mother Tang said, in your current situation, I'm afraid you won't be able to obtain any resources. It's better to come back. Then who is the person who came this time? Tang Guo was so angry that she laughed in her heart. This family Tang had a good idea. What was selling a daughter? This was the real deal. They didn't even discuss it with her before changing the person. This series of words sounded like they were still thinking about her. If the Li family hadn't given enough benefits, the family Tang would probably have a different attitude and think that the Li family had gone too far. The Li family didn't want to lose an ally like the family Tang and didn't want to offend them. In fact, the family Tang didn't want to fall out with the other party. Now that they understood and gave a certain amount of compensation, the family Tang probably thought that they could get a lot of benefits by maintaining the relationship. It was really a good plan. What a good plan. Li Hai. You met him when you were young. When she heard this name, Tang Guo almost laughed out loud. Fortunately, she suddenly remembered that she had to maintain her cold persona. It wasn't good to collapse too quickly. It was easy to scare people. Li Hai. Tang Guo looked up and stared at the three people in front of her with a pair of cold eyes. Li Hai, right? What's wrong with Li Hai? Even if his talent was lacking, he was still the legitimate second young master of the Li family. His status was not lower than Li Sui's, and he was also doted on in the Li family. It's said that the Li family will be handed in the future. Tang Guo smiled again. Who doesn't know that the one who manages a big family is the one with the worst talent? It was one thing for his talent to be bad, but his character was also bad. Is Li's Li? I remember that Li Hai had many concubines by his side. It should be said that he had countless concubines. Li Hai wasn't talented, but he wasn't a good-for-nothing. He was good at management. However, this was wrong in the first place. To her, it was a humiliation. She was not a commodity. How could she be traded away just like that? She also said that other than raising her, the Tang family really didn't do her any favors. As for the favor of nurturing her, the original owner had almost repaid it. In the years when the original owner was still a genius, most of the resources that she worked hard for were given to the family. Therefore, she really didn't owe this family anything. Now, they didn't care about her feelings and wanted to squeeze every last drop of her value. Chapter 3571. The more Tang Guo experienced the things that the original owner had experienced, the more she could understand how desperate it was to be in this situation. The clear sky was shrouded in dark clouds. Not only could she not see clearly, but there was also no way to get rid of it. She had some self-esteem and was not a kind person. All the grievances could only be swallowed into her stomach. With Tang Xiang's personality and situation, how could she deal with someone like her? Even if she knew Tang Xiang's true colors, she could not win against her. Thus, she thought of the only way to improve her cultivation. Perhaps it was because she had been at the bottom for many years that she understood that strength was the supreme. As long as one was strong enough, no one would care about how bad a person used to be. They would only see her dazzling brilliance. You will be Li Hai's official cultivation partner and the matriarch of the entire Li family in the future, Mother Tang said. There were 3 reasons why she agreed to this proposal. First, the family Tang did not want to lose this ally. Second, the Li family offered very generous conditions. Third, the Li family had clearly stated that Li Hai would be the next patriarch of the Li family. As for the third point, they had also investigated. Li Hai's cultivation was not bad, but his ability was really good. It was not shameful to let Tangwa be Li Hai's wife. With her current situation, many people would think that Tangwa was lucky and would not gossip about the family Tang. However, the Li family was not to be trifled with. They had their own reasons for letting Li Hai, the future patriarch, and Tangwa become cultivation partners. First, they did not want to lose this relationship. Second, Tangwa's cultivation had not improved. She was also a good-for-nothing. She might be like this for the rest of her life. However, she was originally a genius. She had a top-grade ice spiritual root, which was a 1 in a million physique. If she and Li Hai became cultivation partners, the offspring they gave birth to in the future might be able to neutralize it and become more talented. If one was not enough, they could give birth to a few more. They did not believe that a mother who used to be a genius could not give birth to a child with slightly better talent. This abacus was louder than anyone else's. Considering Li Hai's identity, Tangwa also understood this point. She had no choice but to understand. She had experienced too many things. The Li family were not fools for letting Li Hai and her become Dao companions. They definitely had their main goal. Allies were good, but having a talented descendant was better. I don't agree. Tangwa refused without even thinking about it. She didn't need to think about it at all. Since Li Sui is unwilling, why don't we just cancel the engagement? Tangwa's objection caused the couple's expressions to change slightly. This is a good marriage. You have to think it through. Besides, the clan leader and the elders have all agreed to this matter. We've almost reached an agreement with the Li family. Since the Li family can exchange people, you can also choose someone else from the family to hand over. It doesn't have to be me. You said that Li Hai is not bad. There must be many sisters in the family who are willing to go to the Li family to be the future matriarch. Tangwa's unhesitant refusal left the couple at a loss for words. They could not directly force Tangwa. If word got out, it would be bad for their reputation. People would say that they forced their daughter. Their family was not like that. Sister, why don't you go and meet the second young master first? Maybe you'll like him. This is indeed a good choice, at least for you. Tang Sun saw the couple's dilemma. Seeing their expressions, Tangwa suddenly changed her mind. Okay, I'll go and meet him. This matter is not impossible to discuss. System, that's strange. He must have thought of some way to torture her. Peek. Chapter 3572. When the three of them heard this, they all looked at her in surprise. Li Hai was quite handsome. When he saw Tangwa appear, his eyes lit up. Except for her hands that held the sword, every part of her was very beautiful, especially her unique temperament. Li Hai had no other hobbies except for beauties. There were countless beauties in his family, all kinds of beauties. Second young master Li, I heard that you want to marry me. Actually, it's not impossible, but I can't tolerate a grain of sand in my eyes. I heard that you have many concubines. I can't tolerate them. Tangwa said directly. Everyone in the hall stared at her, thinking that she was very naive. Li Hai smiled. Miss Tang, you mean that I have to dismiss all my concubines? This is actually not a problem. I can agree. Dismissing his concubines didn't mean that he couldn't have other beauties. Li Hai was naive. How could Tangwa do as he wished? She shook her head. No, I mean I can't tolerate a grain of sand. Even if you dismiss those concubines, you can't erase their existence. What do you mean? Li Hai was a little confused. Tangwa said directly, if you kill them personally, I can pretend that they don't exist. She didn't believe that Li Hai would kill all the beauties he raised just to become her Dao companion. Even if he wanted to, he wouldn't dare. Then the Li family's reputation would be ruined. When she said this, everyone's expression changed. The family Tang members were in disbelief. Their eyes seemed to be saying, how can you be such a vicious person? Tangwa didn't care about this. Even if she didn't say these words, they would probably think that she was a vicious person. Anyway, in their eyes, she was a vicious person. Then why not show her viciousness? Otherwise, she would really be sorry for the rumors. Sister, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? Tang Sun couldn't believe that Tangwa would say such vicious words. She actually wanted Li Hai to kill all those concubines personally. Who did she think she was? Actually, with her current situation, she was utterly unworthy of Li Hai. Xiaogua, you've really gone overboard this time. Li Sui has already agreed to dismiss your concubines. It can be seen that he's sincere towards you. Can't you see my sincerity? From Mrs. Tang's point of view, a marriage between Tangwa and Li Hai was a good ending. Who asked her daughter to be so arrogant and unwilling to admit defeat? Now that he had become a cripple in Lehigh, there was really no other choice. Even if there were other candidates, she probably wouldn't be interested in them. Lehigh's status was beyond her reach. If it weren't for the fact that the other party was her daughter and that she hoped that the other party could have a good home, she wouldn't have bothered to ask about these things if it were someone else. The entire family Tang clan thought the same. Everyone thought that Tangguo was trying to climb up Lehigh's social ladder. Lehigh was so sincere, but she didn't know what was good for her. Given her situation, how many male cultivators would be willing to personally agree to dismiss their concubines? I'm not crazy. I'm serious. If you don't think this is appropriate, then cancel this engagement. Tangguo stood up straight and seriously swept her gaze over everyone's face in the hall. If you can't bear to part with this engagement, it's also good to change the candidate. In any case, I can't tolerate a single grain of sand in my eyes. If you want to become Dao companions with me, then you'll have to personally kill your concubines one by one in front of me. When Tangguo said this, her body seemed to be covered in a layer of demonic qi, making her look incomparably evil. Peak. Chapter 3573. Tang Sun and the family Tang couple's expressions changed slightly. Like Yu Hang and Ji Qi, they all knew that Tang Xiang had once cried when she woke up from her meditation. They heard many words in bits and pieces. When they connected them together, they could guess what Tang Xiang was talking about. However, when Tang Xiang woke up, she was unwilling to say anything to them. When Tang Xiang was at home, such things often happened. It was just that at a young age she seemed to value Tangguo, her biological sister, and even tried to change Tangguo and reverse her fate. Unfortunately, a devil was a devil. No matter what you did, the other party was still a devil. There was no way to change the evil in her bones. Tangguo read the meaning in the eyes of the three people and felt that it was funny. When a person was biased to a certain extent, they would become extremely foolish. Some things clearly could not be like this if they thought about it a little more. However, under their subjective judgment, they would not overturn it or reflect on it. Miss Tang, you're going too far. There's nothing wrong with my concubines following me. You can't take their lives just because they're an eyesore to you. It was impossible for Lehigh to do such a thing. Even if he cared, Tangguo, a former genius, might give birth to a talented descendant. However, he was unwilling to lose the big picture for the small. My attitude is very clear. If you're not willing, we'll change to another person. Tangguo's eyes flashed with ridicule. Doesn't the family Tang have many daughters? You can choose any one of them. I'm sure with the Li family's conditions they'll be very willing. Tangguo, do you know what you're saying? The clan leader scolded. How long are you going to be unreasonable and unreasonable? I'm sorry, clan leader. It's all our fault for not teaching our daughter well. Father and Mother Tang quickly apologized. I don't know how she developed such a personality. Clan leader Tang, if Miss Tang has such conditions, I don't think we're suitable for each other, Lehigh said. Lehigh said, I've already compromised, but Miss Tang wants a yard after taking an inch. She even wants to kill innocent people. I don't dare to have such a wife. Originally, I came here because I heard that Miss Tang is a very tenacious person. Even if her foundation is destroyed, she will not give up. After I heard her like this, I really appreciated her. Now that I see it, I'm filled with disappointment. After Lehigh finished speaking, he felt Tangguo's cold gaze. He quickly looked over and saw Tangguo smiling faintly at him. That smile was full of mockery. Don't make yourself sound so noble. Don't you have your own motives for the marriage between your two families? Take your Li family for example. It was clearly my engagement with Li Sui, but in the end it was changed to you. Wasn't it because you weren't willing to give up your family Tang as an ally? What's better than being even closer to each other? You all think that you're doing me a favor by making me your Dao partner. But I don't care at all. Second young master, I know exactly what your Li family is thinking. Since you insist on saying this today, I won't be polite anymore. On the surface, you're at a disadvantage, but don't you want me to give birth to a talented descendant for your Li family? You misunderstood. Lehigh wanted to explain but was interrupted by Tangguo. If you think I've misunderstood, then swear and see. Swear on your inner demons that you came here today to become Dao partners with me, not because you fancy that I can give birth to a talented descendant for your Li family. If that's not the case, then your Li family will definitely fall within a year and never be able to make a comeback. As soon as she said this, there was only one sentence in everyone's hearts. What a vicious oath. Peak. Chapter 3574. Lehigh shut his mouth. He looked at Tangguo as if she were a monster. His heart was burning with anger. That was indeed their idea. She had blocked his way out by swearing an oath. It seems that Miss Tang and I are indeed not suitable for each other. Tanggua's sarcastic look made Li Hai's face turn black. Second young master Li this. The head of the family Tang family sighed. We might as well discuss this matter later. Today Tanggua was insensible. I apologize to you. As soon as he finished speaking, he felt Tanggua's eyes move to his face. He suddenly had a bad feeling. Don't pretend to be so sanctimonious. You are anxious about this matter. Haven't you already reached an agreement with the Li family? The Li family has offered you very generous conditions, haven't they? For example, about the spirit vein mine. Tanggua was in a good mood when she saw that the head of the family had controlled his anger. Don't say it's for my own good. If you really want my good and have no selfish motives, you should also swear an oath. If you lie and have your own selfish motives, then the family Tang family will be defeated within a year and will never be able to rise again. What do you think? The hall fell into silence. No one spoke. After a long time Mrs. Tang said, Xiaogua, we are all doing this for your own good. Then do you want to swear an oath? Swear that you are doing this for my own good and have no selfish motives. Otherwise your family will be ruined and you will never get what you want. You will lose everything that is most important to you. Tanggua's words were so vicious that no one could refute them. Since you have invited me back, I also need to make my attitude clear. Regarding my engagement with the Li family, it's best to cancel it. I have been very depressed these years and my heart has become twisted. Maybe one day if someone makes me unhappy, I don't know what I will do. After all these years, I don't trust anyone. If you want to say that you are doing this for my own good and want to gain my trust, why don't you swear an oath? Swear with the most important thing to you. If you break the oath, you will lose the most important thing to you and fall into eternal damnation. If you can't, then don't mention this to me. You rebelled? The clan leader and several elders really couldn't stand Tanggua's arrogant look. Have you forgotten how the family Tang has trained you? How could you say such disgraceful words? She had thought that if she used this kind of morality to suppress Tanggua, she would not be able to do anything. However, Tanggua took out a list of all the treatment she had received in the family Tang, both good and bad. It also recorded the benefits she brought back to the family after she left. I left the family Tang group when I was 8 years old. Before that, my talent was pretty good. At that time, the family Tang had indeed spent some resources to nurture me. But I did a calculation and found that I only had a little more than others. After all, from the age of 5, I didn't seem to be liked by anyone in the family Tang group. Tanggua held the list and stood at a distance from the door like a bamboo. The corners of her eyes were raised, and the look in her eyes made people tremble. Maybe this is what it means to be a genius. Since ancient times, geniuses have been hated and lonely. It's normal not to be liked. That's not the point. The point is, did you hear clearly the resources I just listed out that you have enjoyed in the family Tang group? Now, I will list the resources that I have brought back for the family Tang group after the age of 8. The peak. Chapter 3575. There was a long string of numbers at the end of the list. All kinds of pills and magic weapons were brought back by the original owner of the body. The reason why she was so generous was that she always remembered that she was a member of the family. If the family was good, she would be good too. Her family had grown up and that was what she wanted. The family used to be the place where she was raised. However, these people did not remember her kindness at all. Tanggua remembered the original owner of the body very clearly. She did not miss a single thing. She had prepared this list a long time ago. She did not expect it to come in handy so soon. Since she was back, she might as well solve this matter today. In this way, I don't owe the family anything. Tanggua saw that Mr. and Mrs. Tang were about to say something, so she interrupted them. Do you think that you have taken care of me? If not, then shut up. By the way, every time I come back, I bring you a lot of things, right? But it seems that you have given them to Tang Xiang. I don't care about these, so I didn't list them. Take it as repayment for your kindness in giving birth to me. In this way, I don't owe you anything. Don't talk and don't pretend that you care about me and that you are doing it for my own good. You obviously don't like me, but you are still afraid of me. Now, I don't have the talent to find anything good for you. I will always be in the peak of the foundation establishment stage and will never be able to make any progress. I am no threat to you and I am of no use to you. The two families want to unite by marriage. There are so many children in the family. Without me, nothing will change. You want to cooperate, but are you afraid of losing me? As I said just now, if it has to be me, it is not impossible. but I don't know what I will do when the time comes. I don't know what kind of conflict will arise between the two families because of this. Tangua's words completely silenced both parties. They really felt that it was unrealistic to let Tangua and the Li family unite by marriage. She looked as if she had gone crazy. If she really did something bad, it would affect the relationship between the two families. You are too rebellious. The clan leader could not help but say, how can there be someone like you in the family? Patriarch, people change. You should be asking me why I'm like this. It seems that my family Tang cannot tolerate you. Because of her temperament, the patriarch had the idea of expelling Tangua from the Tang clan. If you still want to stay in the family Tang club, hurry up and apologize to the second young master and your parents. Also, go kneel outside and reflect. I don't want to kneel, so you'd better expel me from the family. Tangua's face was very calm, but the words she said shocked everyone. The clan leader was also surprised. Then he said with a serious face, do you know what you're saying? Without the family Tang's protection, do you know how difficult it will be for you to survive in this world with your little influence? Clan leader, I think it's already very difficult now. It doesn't seem to be of much use to hang the name of the family Tang dynasty. Tangua's offensive words made the others in the family Tang club unable to tolerate it. They all suggested that the patriarch expel Tangua from the family. During this time, Mrs. Tang and Mr. Tang asked Tangua to reflect and apologize, but she ignored them all. Apologize? I didn't do anything wrong. Why should I apologize? These words completely infuriated everyone. Just like that, the patriarch of the family Tang club expelled Tangua from the Tang clan. Li Hai, who was watching from the side, was still a little confused when he saw this scene, even though he had experienced some storms. He was clearly here to discuss the marriage. How did it become a gathering to watch the family Tang club expel Tangua? Tangua's words just now calmed him down a lot. When he was a child, he did play with Tangua. In his impression, this little girl was like a little adult. If she was not cultivating, she would be reading by the side. She was especially quiet. She did seem a little unsociable. Now, there seemed to be something more about her that was unpredictable. She was obviously very weak, but she was not afraid of anything. In his opinion, Tangua could not wait to leave the family. Tangua exchanged her family Tang identity card and personally destroyed the family Tang soul card. She saluted everyone and turned to leave the summit. Chapter 3576. He walked away quickly and confidently, like a gust of wind that no one could stop or catch. Tangua didn't expect that Li Hai would catch up with her. Young Master Li, what's the matter? Miss Tang, no, it should be Miss Tang. You are a little different from what I thought. I should hate you, but I don't know why I suddenly don't hate you. Tangua smiled sarcastically. You are the future head of the Li family. Don't ruin things because of beauty. You'd better go back to the family Tang and find a suitable wife. I have no interest in you. Tangua didn't give him a chance and left. Li Hai looked at her back and felt a little uncomfortable. Maybe it was Tangua who reminded him that he went back to the family Tang again. The news that Tangua was expelled from the family Tang soon spread. There were all kinds of rumors. Tangua knew that it would be like this, so she copied a lot of rumors and found a spy on the street. You're Zhang Feng? Tangua looked at the man in front of her. He was handsome and had a pair of cunning eyes. At first glance, she knew that he was a treacherous person. Only his eyes looked like he was in this line of work. Yes, I am. What information do you want to buy? Tangua took out a space bag which was full of image stones she copied. They were all pictures of her in the family Tang. I don't want to buy any information from you. I just want you to help me spread these image stones and let everyone know how I was expelled from the family Tang. Although she didn't care about her bad reputation, she also wanted the world to see from the perspective of a bystander whether she was wrong or the family Tang and the Li family were too calculative. Zhang Feng looked at the image stone and was not surprised. No problem. How much? You are my 9th customer today, so it's free. Free? Tangua was a little puzzled. Wasn't it said that this Zhang Feng was a very greedy person and wouldn't let go of a small profit? Tangua smiled and nodded when she sensed the familiar soul aura from the other party. Looks like I've become a little luckier. I'll leave this matter to you. Leave it to me. I will settle this matter properly and guarantee that Miss will not be wronged. The reason why Zhang Feng said that was that the rumors about Tangua were very unpleasant. Almost all of them were criticizing her. The most common rumor was that the family Tang could not tolerate a cruel and vicious person. She said that she actually wanted Li Hai to kill his own concubine in order to marry her. Not knowing the cause and effect of the matter, Those words would indeed give others the impression that they were unable to differentiate good from bad. After Zhang Feng sent out the image stone, the voices of the people in the world changed. As onlookers, they often see more clearly than the authorities. Although some people felt that Tanggua's words were too much, they understood that she said those words to deliberately make things difficult for Li Hai. She didn't want to marry him. Tang Xiang and Yueheng also knew that Tanggua was expelled from the family Tang. It was Tang Sun who sent the news to Tang Xiang. Of course, Ji Qi also knew about such a big matter. At the moment he was holding an image stone in his hand. But soon the image stone turned into powder. It was obvious that he was a little angry. Then he went to the family Tang. Yueheng also had an image stone in his hand. After seeing this, he also felt that it was time to let Tanggua go to the outer sect and remove the master-disciple relationship. The Peak. Chapter 3577. When Tanggua returned to the Taichu sect, she met one of Yuheng's unnamed disciples and he told her about this matter. Yuheng even returned the soul tablet to her and asked her to exchange the identity tablet that belonged to Yuheng's disciple with an ordinary outer sect disciple's. There was no need to announce anything about this matter. With Tanggua's situation, she wasn't a talented disciple and she couldn't interfere with the sect's side. Yuheng also knew that the sect wouldn't care about these small matters. All right. Tanggua accepted her current identity and wasn't angry. She didn't care about Yuheng as her master. She just felt that the original owner wasn't worth it. These people weren't worth it. After becoming an outer sect disciple, Tanggua had to move her residence away from the Moon Peak. When she came to the outer sect, she didn't receive the ridicule that she imagined. Among the outer sect disciples, she saw a familiar person, Wu Mingxin. Senior Sister Tang, we've already helped you clean up your room. See if there's anything you're not satisfied with. Wu Mingxin was an outer sect disciple and he hadn't acknowledged a master yet. When he cultivated to the golden core stage, he would be able to enter the inner sect. He had told these outer sect disciples about the danger of the beast tide. Therefore, these outer sect disciples were all welcoming Tanggua's arrival. Especially when Wu Mingxin said that although Tanggua was only at the foundation establishment stage, her actual combat ability wasn't weaker than the golden core stage. Such a person wasn't someone they could provoke. Moreover, with their capital, they didn't have enough to make enemies casually. It wasn't easy to stay in the outer sect. She used to be a genius disciple and had more experience than them. They might as well make friends with her. Actually, it was just Wu Mingxin telling everyone that Tanggua was very powerful. They had also heard of Tanggua's fierce reputation and didn't dare to offend her. Senior Sister Tang, there's actually nothing bad about the outer sect. Wu Mingxin said, however, I think with your ability you'll return to the inner sect sooner or later. That day will definitely come. I also think that the outer sect is very good. After having a harmonious meal with these people, Tanggua began to cultivate again. She was currently at the nascent soul stage. After solving the family's problem, she had to start to increase her strength. Next, she had to find a chance to let Yuheng know the truth. However, she was not in a hurry. She could wait until the incident in the snow mountain happened. There was still some time before it would happen. For now, she should focus on increasing her strength. In less than 2 days in the outer sect, Tanggua met another outer sect disciple named Wei Hao. When she saw Wei Hao, she was indifferent on the surface, but she was somewhat speechless in her heart. That was because Wei Hao also had that familiar soul aura. Senior Sister Tang, I've admired you since I entered the sect. I didn't expect to have the opportunity to eat with you now. It's really my honor. Can we go out and train together in the future? Wei Hao looked like a 17-year-old youth. He looked fresh and tender and his eyes were clear. He looked just like a little brother next door. Of course you can, but you have to cultivate well. If you're too weak, you'll die if you go out. I believe that Senior Sister Tang will definitely protect me. Wei Hao's face was full of trust. You saved Wu Mingxin in the past. I'm so familiar with you. You definitely won't leave him to die. Tanggua, you'll drag me down? I don't want to die. Wei Hao hesitated for a moment, then sat cross-legged beside Tanggua seriously. Then from today onwards, I'll work hard to cultivate and strive not to be a burden to Senior Sister Tang. Dear host, we've met 2 more. How many incarnations does that guy have? So this time, did he lose his will to live and gave his will to his incarnations? I don't have time to care about him for now. Cultivation is more important. I plan to go into seclusion for 5 years. 5 years later would be when that big event would happen. At that time, things would be more or less over. During this period, she had to improve her strength. Ji Qi still didn't know that Yu Hang and Tanghua had dissolved their master-disciple relationship. Currently he had captured a few family Tang disciples. Under severe torture he obtained some truth. Actually, we were jealous of her talent. Every time we discussed killing her. Anyway, she's a talented disciple. Nothing will happen to her. At most she'll be criticized. But she's really vicious. She didn't hold back at all. Slap. Ji Qi slapped that disciple's face and scolded. What a joke. Chapter 3578. Revenge. After recording everything with the image stone, Ji Qi left. These little grasshoppers didn't dare to go out and say anything. Moreover, he didn't show his true face. He brought the image stone back to the sect and found out that Yu Hang and Tanghua had dissolved their master-disciple relationship. Master, why did you dissolve your master-disciple relationship with junior sister? Yu Hang said indifferently, actually, it should have been dissolved long ago. Xiang has been unable to improve because of this heart demon. Tanghua's temperament isn't good. I've misjudged her. With her current state, it's good for her to stay in the outer sect. Then has Xiang made any progress recently? The matter of the heart demon is very mysterious. I've let Xiang go into seclusion. We'll see when she comes out. Master, have you ever thought that the truth might not be what we see? What are you trying to say? Nothing. It's just that I've gained some insights from this experience. Master, I'm also planning to go into seclusion for a while. Currently, he couldn't rely on the things in his hands to make Tang Xiang unable to make a comeback. He planned to give the mirror of this life to Tang Xiang. However, she was good at disguising herself. He didn't know what she could see. He planned to wait for her to reveal more flaws so that he could catch her in one fell swoop. Chapter 3578. He had never doubted Tang Xiang in the past. Firstly, Tang Xiang behaved the same in front of and behind the scenes. She had been very sensible since she was young and had never said anything bad about anyone. She always considered things from the perspective of others. Secondly, it was because Tang Xiang was his savior. He was focused on cultivation and only wanted to become an immortal. He had no thoughts about relationships. Therefore, he took care of Tang Xiang mainly because she was his savior and also because she was his junior sister. It was mainly because of her identity as his savior that he overlooked some strange details. If he had not seen the truth in the mirror of present life and combined it with some strange things in the past, he would not have believed that there was anything wrong with Tang Xiang. Therefore, he had never thought of showing the mirror of present life to Yu Hang. This was because he was not sure how much Yu Hang would be able to see. He might as well give it to Tang Xiang when the time was right. However, he was still not sure if Tang Xiang, who was so good at disguising herself, could achieve the effect he wanted after using the mirror of present life. Just saving him was not enough to make Yu Hang stand on his side. After all, from Tang Xiang's point of view, she might not have seen the scene where Tanghua saved him. Then, not only would she not be able to expose the truth, but she might also end up making a fool of herself and alert the enemy. When he found out that Tang Xiang was a reincarnated person, he overturned his original plan. Since she was a reincarnated person, she must be very intelligent and skilled in scheming. He had to be careful. Tang Xiang was now in seclusion and would not be seen for a while. He could not get more information from her and could only choose to go into seclusion for the time being. However, before he went into seclusion, he went to find Tanghua. In the end, he was told that Tanghua was also in seclusion and did not know when she would come out. Ji Qi had no choice but to leave. After learning the truth, Ji Qi thought of countless ways to make up for it. However, no matter what method he used, he was helpless. She did not seem to need or want his so-called compensation at all. Especially after he saw the words she said before she was expelled from the family Tang. He could tell that she did not care about the family Tang and did not care to stay in that place. Especially the way the family Tang did things made her bitterly disappointed. She actually didn't care about those who treated her like dirt. So, for someone like him who wanted to take her life, not only did she not care, but she also hated him and even wanted him dead, right? Over the past few days, his cultivation had not improved at all. Ji Qi understood that if he did not deal with this inner demon, his cultivation progress would be very slow. In this lifetime he would never be able to seek immortality and seek the Tao. Time passed quickly and 5 years passed in the blink of an eye. During this period, Tanghua did not come out even once. She had been in seclusion. 2 years ago, Tang Xiang had already come out of seclusion. Her cultivation had improved slightly, but in Yu Hang's opinion, her progress was still slow. When Tang Xiang found out that Ji Qi had not killed Tanghua and that Tanghua was still in seclusion, she became even more terrified. However, when she remembered that something big was about to happen in the cultivation world, her heart calmed down. As long as she made good use of it, this major event would definitely change her fate completely, and it would be much easier to get rid of Tanghua. She did not believe that she would not be able to obtain the mixed yuan flame flower as long as she did that. Tang Xiang recalled in her mind how Tanghua had resolved the sex crisis when she had been on the same team as her. Chapter 3579. After making sure that she remembered it clearly and knew the solution, Tang Xiang heaved a sigh of relief. She did not believe that the upper echelons of the sect would not allow her to consume the mixed yuan flame flower this time. Tanghua also came out of seclusion. Senior Sister Tang, don't be discouraged. Although you failed in 5 years, I believe that you will definitely be able to condense a golden core in the next 5 years. Actually, your strength is definitely stronger than the average golden core cultivator. The main reason was that he did not see any phenomenon of condensing a golden core in the past 5 years, so he knew that Tanghua definitely had not formed her golden core. Any cultivator who formed their golden core would produce a phenomenon of heaven and earth. At that time, a tribulation cloud would appear above the cultivator's head and strike the cultivator's golden core. This was considered the consideration of the heavenly Tao for cultivators. It wanted to see if the cultivator had cultivated steadily. If the cultivator's golden core was not cultivated steadily, it would be easily shattered by the tribulation. It would take many years to condense it again. However, when Wu Mingxin looked at Wei Hao again, he sighed. Yes, it was not without reason that he stayed in the outer sect from the beginning. Weren't most of them not very talented? In just 5 years, Wei Hao had not condensed his golden core. He was not surprised at all. Junior brother Wei, don't be too anxious to cultivate. You can cultivate slowly and build a good foundation. To be honest, I have been in the outer sect for almost 30 years. I entered the sect at the age of 5 and have always been in the outer sect. My talent is too poor, so I can't condense my golden core. It's because my talent is too poor. Speaking of this, Wu Mingxin did not look disheartened. Instead, his eyes were bright. At first, I was still a little sad. After I met Senior Sister Tang, I decided that I would work hard to cultivate until I die. No matter what the future results are, since I want to walk this path, of course I have to continue. Host, your Nyonyo. When Tanghua heard the system's muttering, she almost burst out laughing. Fortunately, she managed to calm herself down in the end. I think Wu Mingxin is not bad. It's been 30 years, but he hasn't condensed his golden core. He's not arrogant or rash. His talent is just a little lacking. Given some opportunities with such a temperament, he can definitely soar to the sky. Look, she's even comforting you. The system slowly analyzed. The main reason is that while you were in seclusion, I've been observing Wu Mingxin. This person isn't someone who flatters the strong and tramples on the weak. He has a good temperament and knows how to repay kindness. He isn't a hypocrite nor is he a saint. He knows how to know his place. Such a temperament is really suited for cultivation. I know. After knowing Wu Mingxin for so long, how could she not know what kind of person he was? Her little Tongzi was right. Wu Mingxin's greatest flaw was that he was a little too talented and lacked opportunities. If the other party had great luck, even if the other party's talent was lacking, it wouldn't matter much. With that thought in mind, Tanghua looked at Wu Mingxin again and realized that the providence on him seemed to have become much thicker. Host, after hugging your thigh, isn't it normal for my luck to change? Tanghua felt that it made sense. Then, dear host, are you going to give this kid pills or cultivation techniques? Tanghua reviewed the plot and searched for the name Wu Mingxin. Although she knew the plot was very vague, she still found the name Wu Mingxin. Wu Mingxin, an outer sect disciple. In the beast tide, he didn't lose his life. However, he lost an arm, was disfigured, and was seriously injured. There were also permanent sequelae. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.